This brief video has been designed to support practitioners leading colleagues through a group learning professional dialogue activity focusing on the first section of the module Introduction to Autism and Inclusive Practice. A video overview similar to this one is provided for each section of the module and each of the associated group learning sessions. However, it might be helpful to be aware early on that each session is designed to follow a similar predictable structure. The topic covered within this first section is terminology. As this is the first group learning session, it is important to introduce your colleagues to the module, where to find it online and how to navigate. This could be conducted as a group using a large shared screen, or supporting colleagues to find and navigate the site on individual screens. At this point, it will be helpful to introduce your colleagues to the overall structure of the module and the sessions within it. This first session provides a general introduction to the module and reflective log, and the first section of the module, terminology. It is also a good time to introduce your colleagues to the reflective log, which can be downloaded from the module site and either printed out or typed straight onto, depending on individual preference. The first activity within this log, on page 6, is a self-evaluation wheel. Self-evaluation should support you to reflect on what you have done, to think about what you might do next, and consider your own progress and developments, and also to deeply understand your professional practice, your professional learning, and the impact of this on your thinking, professional actions, those you work with and support, and the pupils and their learning. The self-evaluation wheel is a useful tool for exploring current reality and supporting self-evaluation, and helping to critically reflect on yourself as a professional and your practice, and also for completing a simple gap analysis, for example where you are now and where you would like to be. The example on the screen highlights how to use the self-evaluation wheel. On page 3 in the reflective log, participants should start by using a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being poor and 5 being very knowledgeable, to rate their knowledge and understanding of autism and inclusive practice. Consider and record what they hope to achieve in studying this module, and complete the template for the self-evaluation wheel. This wheel is referred to once more in the final section at the end of the module to support reflection on progress with learning. Most relevant to GTCS registered teachers, those working through the module are encouraged to consider the following reflective questions highlighted on page 7 of the reflective log, which are within the GTCS professional values and personal commitment sessions. Each session, a page that looks like this will indicate where the group is up to in studying the module. Usually, it is expected that practitioners would have completed a gap task in advance of each session, in which they prepare for the upcoming session by reading through the content of that section of the module. At each session, the group leader would usually provide a brief recap of that session's reading before launching into the group discussion activities. However, for the initial session, a more detailed overview of this content would need to be given, as group members are likely to be coming fresh to the first part with no experience of the module or its contents. Slides that look like this will provide a breakdown of the topics covered within each session. Note that this first session is relatively short, which allows more time for activity, discussion, and navigating the module for the first time. But the content of some later sections, such as section 3 on understanding autism, is substantially longer. This session will focus on autism as an identity, neurodiversity, and disability. Activity 2 involves watching 2 videos and a discussion based on prompt questions which are included within the reflective log on page 8. It is expected that participants would complete the written log in their own time as part of a gap task. Gap tasks, as presented here, will usually include reading ahead for the upcoming section, as well as a reminder to complete the written reflective log, where appropriate, which provides evidence of the attendees' contribution to the reflective discussions within the group context. Remember, in order to complete the module and to gain a badge, participants will be expected to click through all of the module material, which is why it is suggested that the content on terminology covered in this first session is read through retrospectively. Each session presentation ends with notice of the upcoming section content and date for coming back together as a group. The next session will focus on the Scottish context for autism and inclusion.